What's up, everybody? Happy Friday.
Well,
Happy Friday, everyone.
Shout out to our soul sister, Tanya, the herbalist who can't be with us today. Probably watching.
Yeah.
Hey, Tanya.
Yeah. She's
got a party.
I know, right?
She's
Nothing wrong with
MIA.
that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
No.
okay. It's all good.
Get it
all
in while
good.
you can.
I know, right? I feel like we have to enjoy summer because we know what's coming. We know what's coming. And I was just saying that my girlfriend reached out to me right away and she's like, Bonnie Henry and Adrian Dix are, they're doing live right now and basically saying because of all the cases right now that, we got to do, more restrictions. So, they're prepping.
You mean
prepping
from
the fourth wave.
wonderful PCR test that works so well that the CDC said sucks too now?
Yep. They're going to do a class 1 recall.
Those cases. Right.
Yeah, right. Oh, I know. And it's so funny too, because if you were to ask a doctor, well, how are you testing for your variants? They're using the same faulty PCR test that again is getting a class 1 recall because it can't tell the difference between anything, zero, nada, nothing. Yeah. So
they got nothing to test it with.
It's disinformation, right?
Disinformation.
Smack me. Yep, I know,
Except
right?
it came from the CDC. Except it's not true.
Right? Of course,
Except just wear your mask. Wear your mask. But don't.
Yeah. Oh man.
So stupid. I'm done.
It's just, it's like I don't know how people don't see through this. It's so contradictory. Like there's just, you got one person saying one thing, you got another person saying another thing, and then you got, somebody else, and they're all government. They're all like what, speaking of which, I think like we've made a really nice we made a really nice clip for everybody because, I think sometimes, and I love doing this, I love taking snippets and pieces of all the contradictions that I see. And on my Facebook, I will actually make a post. So they're all back to back because, it's like when people only know one piece or one component, then to them, they're like, oh, no, that's the truth. I mean, listen to them, like listen to Trudeau or listen to Fauci or listen to Bonnie Henry. But you start putting all the pieces together and
they're all contradicting each other.
Yeah. So we made a clip for everybody. We're loving the clips lately. We might incorporate that more often. So we've made a little clip for you guys. So enjoy.
Time for people to get vaccinated. For those who are hesitant to go and get their first doses and their second doses. That's why I've asked the clerk of the Privy Council, who is responsible for the Federal Public Service, to look at mandatory vaccinations for federal employees. And we're also looking at federally regulated industries to encourage or perhaps even to mandate vaccinations for those industries. It is time that the 80% of Canadians who are doing their duty towards their neighbors, towards their loved ones by getting vaccinated, be able to get back more and more to normal, get back more and more to regular life. For that, those who are hesitant, it's time to get your vaccine. They are safe, they are effective, and we're going to continue following science and the recommendations of NACI and our public health officers when it comes to further boosters. But right now, we know that getting vaccinated with 2 doses of an approved vaccine in Canada is the best way to keep yourself safe, including from the Delta virus.
Now that we have a Delta variant, that has changed the entire landscape. Because when you look at the level of virus in the nasopharynx of a vaccinated person who gets a breakthrough infection with Delta, it is exactly the same as the level of virus in an unvaccinated person who's infected. That's the problem. So those data are very compelling, and that triggered the change in the CDC guidelines.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here for your debriefing. Remember when we said you don't have to wear a mask anymore? Put them back on. We were just playing. We found the 8th new variant yesterday. We don't know what we're going to call it, though. But if you did get the vaccine, just go ahead and get another dose. Get another dose of the vaccine. But we have a plan. Here's our plan to get everything back to normal. And as you can see from this line here and this one going around in a I know what you're thinking. This seems pretty straightforward, right? No, it's actually more complicated than it needs to be. Okay, so just trust us. We're the government. We know what we're talking about, and science.
Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, no.
We had a plan to get it all together, just like this, just like this. That's about it.
Oh,
It's more
those two
complicated
make
than
my
it needs to
ears
be.
bleed. Right?
It's like
Yeah.
2 minutes of my life
That was
I'll
the
never
best
get
part.
back.
I know, right? I know, but it's like this is where you got to try and as hard as it is for us because we get so frustrated. This is the stuff that just makes me laugh because it's like, okay, now you've just watched this. They contradict each other completely. It's just such a complete crap show. And how do you believe them? How do you believe them? You know what I mean?
Well, and even you watch, Trudeau doesn't even say Fauci anymore because he knows we're watching what he's saying, and it's just round and round. So what did he say? What was it? We're watching our public health officials. Do you know what's funny? I laugh every time he says that because I was sitting in a doctor's call a long time ago, and it was hilarious because the joke of it was the public health, the people that take on the public health jobs were the ones that got like the lowest grades in medical school. And I don't know if that's true. Come on, I'm just saying every time I hear him say that, I giggle so bad because I'm like, makes sense. Especially now. But come on.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just it's so comical. He's like, "Oh, it'll protect you. It's safe and effective, and it'll protect you against the Delta too." And then you got Fauci saying, "Oh yeah, it doesn't matter if you have it or you don't have it. You're not protected, so slap on a mask." It's just like, yes.
Sometimes you just gotta laugh. You know where I get my best laughs from is from David Avocado Wolf on his Telegram channel because that guy's got some serious funny shit.
That man fills my soul.
I know.
A high vibration every time. He's my go-to. But you know what's even funnier is we were talking about Denny's poll.
Yes.
You were telling us about that. Tell them about it. Not everybody's on Twitter. I don't even check Twitter, so.
So you know what? Lately, I haven't been on Twitter as much, but yesterday I decided to go on Twitter and start floating around, and it was great because as you guys just watched that clip of that contradictory nightmare, you also heard Trudeau say 80% of Canadians have done their job and they've gotten their injection. Wrong. So Denis, if anybody knows Denis Rancourt, he is actually on Twitter. And he was actually on one of our initial conferences, I think our second conference. He decided yesterday on Twitter to do a poll, and his poll was, how many COVID injections have you had? 0, 1, 2, or 3. And he polled 35,827 people. And let's see, hold on. Can everybody see that? 76% has not had an injection.
Not one.
5% has had 1, 17% has had 2, and 2% has had 3. Now, why would you get 3? But okay. Regardless of anything, that doesn't look like, and extrapolate that because, that's basically how statistics are done. If you have almost 36,000 people in 24 hours that has done this poll and 76% has not had a single one, don't tell me 80% of Canadians have had it. That's how they're lying to Canadians. They want the Canadians to believe most of them have got it. Let's just coerce you, be like everybody else.
Keeping up with the Jones, the marketing ploy. Well, they've got it, so I need to have it. I don't want to be the last one to not have it. Oh my gosh, you're not alone.
Yeah,
It's a
you're
big
way far from
big
being
marketing
alone.
gimmicks. One of the biggest marketing gimmicks, like you said, Amanda. And then also the other one is when they make it seem like they're running out. It's a feast or famine. Remember when they ran out of it, a couple of months ago, and we didn't have any more in. And it's like they've been planning this for a long time. They've had more than ample enough, for the next 4 or 5 years. So,
Yeah.
to think that they ran out was probably just stuck it in storage for a couple of weeks and then made everybody run out and go and grab it. And sure enough, that it did. It created that FOMO effect where people had a fear of missing out. They were like, "Oh my God, I got to run in and get it." And it's just marketing.
You've been consumerized, but now
Mhm.
it's affecting your life with
Mhm.
those ploys.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'll tell you why people are having 3 shots, because when the people are getting 2 shots and they've got a mixed dose, and then
Yes.
they realize that now they can't get across to the US because they've got a mixed dose, which was okay last week, but not okay this week. Well, I guess you have to go in for your 3rd dose to get the first one or the second one or the 6th one. I don't know, whatever. That's probably why.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I
what
mean,
is it? I was just going to say, well, they've already started breathing about the Lambda variant, and it's funny because I guess that's what you call, we can't tell everybody we lied, so we'll just call it Lambda.
Is that one of the ones that's on that list? Have you seen that list of all the different variants?
It's
They're supposed to be
literally called the Lambda variant.
well,
Yeah.
yeah. Is this are they all living in a fraternity somewhere? Delta, Lambda, we're going to get a few more because, come on,
We're just working our way down the alphabet.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? It's sad because the people at the top, these little sociopathic think tank people, they're literally laughing, mocking humanity that's falling for this rhetoric that can't see through the veil, that can't, decipher, discern between what's really the truth and what's really fiction. And actually, I was on Instagram yesterday, and our girl Sunit,
I
she
love
was,
her.
isn't she amazing? I know,
She's the
I love
best.
her to pieces.
Mhm.
She's at her mom's right now. She's in Alberta. And she's like, I've been watching a little bit of TV, and I can see how people can get so easily manipulated if you just fall into watching television and just believing, what you're being told and sold. Let's put it this way, vision. You're being marketed to, you're being sold to. So, if we could just destroy TVs, if we could just shut down the network of all radio and all TV, and people were left to just go old school and, out and about and be in their surroundings and natural environment without that influence, this would disappear very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
What else do we have to talk about today, ladies? What else is on the slate?
Farmers, I think. Farmers, right?
Yeah, I'd like to take a minute and address something that was sent to me yesterday out of Saskatchewan. And I know this is happening in Ontario a little bit because our weather is ridiculous, but at least for the farmers, in the farmers' case, Rachel Huffman was saying farmers make up, 1.9% of our population.
Mm-hmm.
So the rest of that population has no idea how a farmer functions in the least. So this letter, I'm just gonna, I don't want names or anything out there, but so this was a board of directors meeting. They held an emergency special meeting in August to discuss the matter of, they're asking for help. Okay, so things have got to be dire if they're asking for help. Cow, calf, and ranching families across the prairies are faced with the painful reality of major herd reductions, upward of 50%, with some complete dispersals already occurring due to the severe drought experienced this growing season. Forage and straw are in very short supply across Western Canada, with irrigated land being the only exception. The board is therefore unanimous in believing that our district can answer the call to supply much needed roughage to cattle operations across the province. The board asks that you please consider dropping straw. Any type of straw will be helpful to help feed cattle herd through the winter months. This agency will lead communication in the process, and it will look something like this. So a cattle farmer will call this place looking to purchase straw. I don't know what that is, but anyways, they need so much help. It's going to cause food disruptions. And like they said, upwards of 50% of reductions in major herd. So I am putting out a call to action to any of our farmers or farmer friends of farmers, anything, whatever we can get out to that province, let's do it. I am so sick and tired of this garbage going on just to, nail the food supply. But then coming out of Ontario, I mean, we were flooded last week. We had a massive hailstorm that came through last Sunday, and there was a lot of crop damage. There was a local guy who came and told us he is selling his calves and his veal because they can't afford to go forward feeding them at these prices. Not to mention getting parts for these balers, that's next to impossible. I mean, geez, we have to wait forever to get an oven part, imagine getting a baler part. These things are not in high commodity. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've been asked to let we're all in this country about to face another 15% food inflation and shortages due to global grain reduction, which then equals less meat as well. Because if you've got nothing to feed your herd, you don't have a herd. Do you know? So buy meat now while you can, and
learn how to hunt. Have a friend that knows how to hunt too, right? Get the clean meat.
Yep. And I don't even know if this is a serious thing, because but my friend put out here, what else can you do beside asking the entire country to start cutting and baling their ditches? Like, this is how serious it is. I mean, the irrigation part in Saskatchewan isn't doing bad, obviously, because they've got the water going on, but the rest of it is in massive trouble. So if anybody out there from Saskatchewan is out there, or the province is close to Saskatchewan, if you can help in any way, shape, or form, let's get this hay and straw and grain where it needs to be, so these farmers can keep their land and it keeps it out of the clutches of these corrupt politicians and big ag people.
Were you given any kind of time frame or anything like that, Amanda? For I know that this is already starting to happen, but when are we going to start to feel the pain of that, do you think?
Probably around harvest. I mean, I know around here, you notice it in the grocery store right away. I do. I was in there today. I went in there for the first time in I don't even know how long that I went to the grocery store. I almost died when I looked at the prices.
And it's not even, it's not just, beef and stuff. I was just in the grocery store too, and usually I buy trout, and that's, freshwater fish, and a piece of trout, obviously a family pack, but still it was like over $40, and it's usually like 20, 25 tops. So it's almost a 50% inflation on fish, and fish that locally on the West Coast, you can go fishing and catch yourself. So, and this is, we've talked about this for a long time. This is coming, and it's there, people are really going to get smacked hard in the face, and we have to come together as a country and start helping each other. So yes, Amanda, 100%, people who are in Alberta, people who are in Manitoba, anybody that can get, people need to start traveling to each other to start helping each other out. And this is how, we have to try and see what we can do to get through some of this, because it's inevitable and it's coming. And just so everybody knows on here, aside from food, which is definitely the most important commodity for us, I've said on here before, I'm in the wholesale industry, and I know what containers are costing now, a freight for a container coming from, and it was only China. Now it is India. Same thing with different places in Europe, like Holland. Okay, containers, a 20-foot container that used to cost $3, $4, $5, $6,000 in freight is over $20,000. And I can confirm that myself because I have conversations with my own suppliers. $20,000 plus. Okay. And that's all going to fall on the wholesaler, fall on the retailer, and then fall on the consumer. And so all of these orders, they're already being told, like retailers are already being told after the 15th of August, there's surcharges now of freight that are going to be put on your guys' orders because we can't sustain it. So, everybody start buckling down and getting ready. Now, material things, you guys, I mean, everybody can with not having material stuff. It is what it is. But when it comes to food and supporting farmers and growing some of your own stuff and supporting your community and going out, like we all have to go out of our way and start supporting and assisting whichever way we can so that we can try and ride this out while we try and take this government down for what they're doing to us.
Yep. But what happens though is when you have people, like you say, like no material things don't really matter, but material things are some people's business. So if they don't have you buying their, whether it's a new couch or a new stove or clothing or whatever it might be, if you're not out buying those things, that's what's putting the food on that family's table. That's what's paying that person's mortgage. So, it's all industries that make this world go round, because otherwise, if you're only buying just in the food industry, who has anything to buy? I mean, I'm in a luxury environment for work as well. So being in wholesale too is not everybody needs aromatherapy. Not everybody needs color therapy, but if they're not buying, I don't have a job.
And it's a domino effect because I look at it too. I mean, last year I lost over 80% of my income.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's heavily affected this year too. And it's really sad, but it's going to be a really hard reality. And that's why I say to people, buckle down. There are going to be more people who are going to lose their jobs. I'm going to have more phone calls with clients who are going to be crying to me because they're going to have to close their doors and they're not going to be able to reopen. And this is inevitable, and it's terrible, and it sucks, and it's so disgusting that these people, these government people who get paid six-figure salaries don't give a crap about the hardworking Canadian who is just trying to put food on the table.
Well, that's because it's those people that have a voice and can challenge them on every turn. You get your super rich, which is in the back pockets of them, or you have your super poor, which relies on them already. Mm-hmm. The middle class,
yes,
we're the ones hollering and screaming.
Yeah,
we're the ones that can make that change because we have nothing to lose in that regard, right? Mm-hmm. We're either fighting to keep what we have, or we're down the slope. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's not to be insensitive to anybody out there at all. It's just a reality of what's happening right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why, so support local, buy local, all your mom and pop shop retailers, little cafes, little gift shops, support them. Do not be supporting Walmart and Costco and, all of those big box stores. Stop supporting big box stores so that we can help everybody ride this out while we fight.
Absolutely. Well, ladies, what else have we got? It's a big, heavy topic, right? For a lot of people a lot of things to stock up on, and especially when people only have so much space as well. When not everybody's got 4 deep freezers to stock up for meat we've got to start doing canning, right? That's the other thing too. So doing some canning, old school cooking and whatnot, so that you can preserve your vegetables and your fruits and whatnot. Yeah. Another way.
Speaking of which, and I know we talked about this last Friday, Freedom Frontline, Eric, he has started the Be Prepared initiative, where he's developing communities in certain areas, right? Like he's setting it up so everybody else can be in charge of their own stuff, but where they set up communities where everyone has their role, and life continues on if there's a breakdown. Speaking of which, I just want to tell you, I got my pine needle tincture, Eric.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
Super excited. So yeah,
Nice.
this is at Yourco, YOUR.co. You can find him on Instagram, but it's so cute. Like they've even packaged it. They've got the little pine needles inside. I don't even know if you
Neat.
can see it.
No.
I've got a new
Oh,
camera, so I don't even know what's going on.
cool.
Yeah. But it's like little tequilas, except it's good for you.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, we've like, I don't know how long people have been talking about this, but it's like I said to my suppliers too, and I mean, I know the thing is that we've all become reliant on Asia for too long, and we just got comfortable doing it, and it was a mistake. Like we have to start, honing in on our own country and being self-sustainable in our own country for a lot of things. And so this is where I encourage, like, small business owners and independents and stuff like that to start networking and working together and trying to, bring goods being made here again. And yeah, it's going to be a little more expensive, but you know what? So is all that freight and everything you're going to be paying for regardless anyways, trying to bring it across the water. So yeah, there's a lot of thought.
It is a way of the world really self-correcting itself, isn't it? Where we really do need to get away from buying from China and other places where there's child labor. We know that that's still happening. And
Yeah.
It's going to be a painful process because we're so used to being in a world of like quick and now and cheap and
Fast
in
food.
order for, it's gonna be an adjustment period, and it's going to be a going back to an old school way where we're not going to have to expect on those fast food type of industry, where we're going to have to allow the world to correct itself for a period of time.
Simple
right?
is better. Simpler is better. But at the end of the day, we're ushering in the new earth. We're not ushering in the NWO.
That's right. Agreed.
Right.
And I think Danny and I were talking about this, and I was saying, like, we have to go backwards to move forwards, like we do.
100%. 150%. I mean, there is a time and there is a place for technology, but people need to relearn basic skills of humanity, like basic survival skills, number one. I even want to say legal skills. People don't know their own rights. It's been so far removed. Like, I think that's my number one message that I get in my inbox is people looking for lawyers and they don't know which way to turn. And some of them are just very simple questions, but because they're caught in a panic, they don't know how to problem solve that. Right? Yeah. Like it's that fight or flight mentality that takes place. And it's sad, but they don't teach us any of that anymore, and yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's on purpose. Right.
Oh, I know.
It's intentional. It's intentional because, if you have a populace that is naive, they don't know any better, that they can't be prepared. And I think at this point, even with this whole debacle that's happening, I think they were hoping that they had dumbed humanity down enough with social media and technology and the laziness and all that kind of stuff that they thought that they'd be able to pull this off. And guess what? Mistake.
It backfired.
Big mistake.
We could use it too.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Well, we were just saying the difference, Amanda, is that not to mistake education for intelligence, because the more years in school you have, in some cases, the more indoctrinated you've been into a system. So, I've seen some people who
money. You paid a fortune to get there, and now you're just repeating the puppet lines from the top down.
And not to say that you haven't picked up skills along the way and that sort of thing for sure, but overall, I mean, a lot of it was just set up as a distraction for us, right? Be a good little citizen. This is how we want you to think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyways, I can't stay, ladies. So if I can make one plea. I don't know if you guys watched the Rights of School Children Experts Live event yesterday. That
yes, you guys did an epic job, Amanda. just to shout it out for you, because what you and Christine pulled off yesterday, I was tuning in and out on my
Amazing.
breaks. I watched a little bit more of it today. I want to watch the whole thing from beginning to end. And honestly, every single speaker you had on there, off the hook. It was
Yeah.
an amazing conference. So really well done. Kudos.
Thank you. Thank you. No, we worked really hard on that, and I have to give shout out to Raji as well from Wholehearted Media, because without her, oh boy, it was a lot. It was a lot. But yeah, you can catch that over at wholeheartedmedia.ca if you want to watch the replay. We're going to have it up eventually. It's just such a big file that I can't get it on my computer yet. You know. Anyways, if you're watching and you want to help us out with the legal costs, you can go to the constitutionalrightscenter.ca and select the education action and help us reach our goal of $250,000. And hopefully you will, because some of these universities are coming back with rotten letters. You would be mortified. So, yeah. Anyways, that's all. Post the link for this form yesterday. It's under, hold on. Sorry, ladies. Let me just.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's important stuff.
Yeah.
It's under wholeheartedmedia.ca. Okay. And I want you to stay tuned, because we're going to have a massive one coming up at the end, back to school. Okay. We know people are going to start freaking out and having more and more questions or panicking or whatever. We want to hand you an arsenal of so much education on your rights and your children's rights, and tools that you can utilize for this, that they aren't even going to know what's going to hit them. Like, they're not expecting you to be informed. They're not expecting you to know your rights. They're not expecting anything from you other than to comply and go along with what they say, because they have your children for 6 hours a day, whatnot. The times are changing.
Yeah.
Take your power back, parents. Take your power back. Okay?
Yes.
So many new things are coming down the pipe. You've got the little pod schools everywhere. Roots and Wings is a great one. You've got teachers that are saying, forget this, and then teaching just privately in their own, and holy moly, there are so many options. So don't let them feel like they have you backed in a corner. You're never backed in a corner. Just ask the right questions. That's all I'm going to say. Anyways, I love you all.
Are you okay? So I was going to say, I know we're going to go with you. But one thing I wanted to say, we can continue this on actually, because this is a good topic to talk about. But we do need to let people know too, this whole $10 daycare. Yeah, that whole thing is a scam, and that is so that the government can wipe out Montessori's and independent education systems. And so, this is a whole web. This is a massive web. So. Yeah, we should definitely hit on this topic again.
Yes, and a mousetrap always comes preloaded with cheese. And the government is that mousetrap, friends. If they're offering free anything.
Yeah, that's right.
So
good to be true.
Sorry, Shane, we have to leave. I gotta go.
Don't go. Yeah, sorry, Shane. Sorry, we got to cut our Freedom Friday chat short today, you guys. But we love you all, and have a good weekend. And
a great weekend. I'm heading off to the Okanagan tomorrow, so off for another week tomorrow. So I'll be maybe doing our Freedom Friday chat next weekend from the beach, hopefully.
Perfect. That's awesome.
Okay, guys.
All right.
Love you all. Have a good night. Bye.
Friday.